Enjoy my lackluster vlog from Butchart Gardens and Vancouver Island. The iconic view of Butchart Gardens. 360 viewpoint of the sunken garden, the pond, everything. And they've got
I'm obsessed with the trash cans.
look at this. This is awesome.
Pansy and lavender, and you can't even tell. Like, it just works so seamlessly together. So fun fact about this pond, it's called the Star Pond, and it was built for Mr. Butchart's ducks. There's so much to do. It's definitely worth the price of admission.
The Helpful Gardeners, the podcast that digs into the buzziest plant trends and news you need to know, regardless of your growing zone. Colin is a skilled horticulturist with decades of growing experience across Canada. Brandi is the greenest of green thumbs with a love of asking questions. Welcome to our garden nook.
Hey, before we start the podcast, can I show you something?
Yeah, what's going on?
So I'm super excited. Look at this. Look at this. It's continuing. Look at this.
What's going on?
So this is new. Well, sorry, I'm excited. It's not new. This is a fertilizer I used to use back in Quebec.
Fafard.
It's killer. So this was on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I don't know how old it is, but I was using it 30 years ago. It's organic. It's made from chicken manure. I love this one, Urban Gardener. This is for balcony growers, small space.
No
You don't need a
way.
huge amount of fertilizer, but it's literally
Are you serious?
so you can salt bay it.
That's so cool.
and-
Okay.
Brand new into the West.
Yeah.
And I think all the people that came from Quebec and Ontario, when they see this, they're going to be as excited as I am.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, I'm looking at it and I feel like when it tells you on the front of the bag, this is for vegetable gardens.
Yep.
It's not like we're trying to make you guess what this is for. Like if you were growing a specific thing, then you know, okay, I need to look for this specific fertilizer. What's that one again?
That one is the all-purpose. So the base fertilizer in it is chicken manure and it's organic.
Oh, you're kidding. We have all of these in store.
All of them. We've got different size flowers. We have the Urban Gardener. We've got the all-purpose. And family-owned business. They focused on the East Coast where they were from, and now they're finally expanding, and I genuinely couldn't be happier.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, well, I'm going to go take a look downstairs in the greenhouse then and grab some fertilizer.
When you garden this yet, you got a new fertilizer.
Yeah, okay, Fafard.
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 Oh, I like it. So we just came back from Social West.
I know, right?
That was so awesome for so many reasons.
You leave with sometimes it's almost like information overload. You have to start disseminating because there's so many different people. What's valuable to you might not be valuable from my position.
Yes.
That fella Blake, who was talking from Reddit, he's one of the only experts I've ever waited to speak backstage because I had more questions. I'm like, I need more from you, and then you feel bad because other people need more from them.
Yeah.
But it's like there's so much condensed in such a short period. You're like, oh my God, this is just the tip of the iceberg, literally. And so well done, and huge shout out to Mike and Lindsay.
Yeah, 100%. I was
and their teams.
And we've been going there for years, and we've always, provide the plants, and that's always like one of our favorite parts because we get a chance to design these beautiful spaces that inspire creativity. And there were a lot of floral outfits, like floral seems to be really in. Like I remember, because you saw that one gentleman with like the huge floral shirt. You wore your Hawaiian shirt on the Friday. There was just these like floral is in.
So I'm finally hip.
Yeah, finally.
That's how I do it.
Oh, thank goodness. No, but sort of what you just touched on, where you leave wanting more and you're kind of overwhelmed, but also inspired.
Yep.
I had a similar experience last week. I went on a short little plane trip for the day with my mom to Butchart Gardens.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
It was incredible. Same vibe. You go there and you learn so much. And I'm taking my camera feed is full. And there's no experts really to go around and ask. Like, there are landscapers everywhere, right? But they all look so busy. They're all doing their thing. It's it's the end of May and you don't want to talk to, I don't want to stop them from what they're doing, ask them questions like,
So
how do you take care of this plant?
Go over and start doing what they're doing and talk like they're
Can you
weeding. You
imagine?
just start pulling a few weeds with them and be like, hey, while we're doing this.
Yeah. Can you impart some wisdom, some garden wisdom? It was incredible. I learned so much, not only about like the types of things that you can pair together,
Right.
because they do a really good job of doing a great mix of perennials and annuals, and it changes all the time, but also about the history of Butchart Gardens. And I kind of want to go into a little bit of what Butchart Gardens is, because the legacy is pretty incredible. So the origin actually started in the early 1900s.
Okay.
The Butcharts.
Bouchard. It's
I feel like everybody says it differently.
Bouchart.
Butchart.
Butchart.
Butcher. Oh, maybe that's that way
Butchart.
too.
I have no idea.
Everybody says it
just
so
did
differently.
Phonetic. I've always heard it. This means nothing because you're right. Everybody pronounces it differently.
Yeah.
I've always heard it as Bouchart.
That's what I've always heard it.
Butchart,
And then
but-
somebody said Butchart, and then I've started saying it like that. And so I feel like I could be persuaded either way.
Bougiart.
Bouchart.
Bougiart.
There we go.
The Bougiart.
They're gonna be
Garden.
like, where did you learn to say that? Like the Helpful Gardeners podcast.
Yeah.
For the sake of this story, I'm just gonna say Bouchart. Because I think I'm going to say this a lot of times. Okay, so the Boucharts had a very successful construction company in the States. They moved up here because there was a big limestone quarry and they had purchased the land.
Okay.
So they were using, they had exhausted this area, and it was just this big, ugly hole. But guess what it turned into? The sunken garden, which is the iconic, like when you see a postcard, who am I? When you see like.
Okay. Hey. I didn't even pick up that people don't do postcards anymore. I was like,
I do postcards.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm old fashioned. This is how amazing Jenny Bouchard is. She had tons of topsoil hauled in by horse and cart, and they used it to cover this pit. They used steep rock walls to create unique microclimates and vertical depth.
vertical depth.
Honestly, the feats that she and her team had to go through, I'm surprised, because it was like there's boulders in this sunken garden. It's incredible.
Well, yeah, I mean it's an old mine quarry. It's
it took about 20 years to fully finish.
Oh wow.
And it looks incredible. There's all this depth. So there's big trees all the way down to like the thriller, filler, and spiller is very apparent in this garden. There's lawns. There's incredible.
I mean, in all fairness, they are on Vancouver Island where you could grow a broomstick. Like, oh, what are you planting? Oh, broomsticks. See what happened? They're all sprouting.
But like from a limestone quarry, having to really think about like the rock. And sort of like what I had to deal with my garden, having to haul out a lot of that to get to soil or to even like,
I will say one thing. I my landscaper brain, when you were like, they brought in topsoil by horse and cart. And I'm like, that seems preferable to bringing in like topsoil by truck and pup, where 7 a.m, the truck pulls up and goes, fills the street with soil, and you're like, oh my God, I know what I'm doing for the next 12 hours.
It's 12 hours. Try 4 days. I have a story on Wednesday.
Oh, I want to hear it.
So we're going to get into that on Wednesday.
Okay.
But in this video, you're going to see the sort of the evolution. So the sunken garden in all its glory. The Italian garden was built up in 1926. The Japanese garden in 1905. I didn't get a chance to go into the Japanese garden because seriously, it's like Disneyland. You need more than a day to visit. Then the Rose Garden in 1929. There was a kitchen garden at one point, and now it's a National Historic Site of Canada. It's been designated since 2004. It's 55-acre property. It's still privately owned.
It's 55 acre?
55-acre property. And
privately owned and recognized by the government.
Exactly. And it's
okay.
So think about that. Early 1900s, for over 100 years. They employ a year-round team, manage over 1 million bedding plants. They have like weddings there and they have events there. Like,
I guarantee they're booked for 2-3 years ahead of time.
Guaranteed. Yeah. They even have a carousel. That was Bennett's first ride on a carousel. So you're going to be able to see that as well. And yeah, it's just incredible. So without further ado, enjoy my lackluster vlog from Butchart Gardens in Vancouver Island. Okay, so we have to talk about this plant. This is laburnum. I've never seen anything like this before. It reminds me of the wisteria. And what I've been told by folks on the grounds is that we came at a very lucky time because these only bloom for about 3 weeks. So when you walk into Butchart Gardens, you are met with this incredible courtyard with a gift shop and a cafe and a sign to take a photo out front, a great ice cream shop, and I instantly became obsessed with the garbage cans. You'll see what I mean coming up. One of the cool things about Butchart Gardens is just the layering effect that they do. And we came at an awesome time because the rhododendrons were in full bloom right across the grounds. You can see allium and just this great layering of blooms in the back all the way to the front. And it's just gorgeous. So this is one of my favorite parts. This is en route to the sunken garden, towering evergreen trees above, and you just get to see this mature forest, and it's incredible. Can you see the animal here? And here it is, the sunken garden, the iconic view of Butchart Gardens in all its glory. This is from up above, so this is how you are met with it. So there's a big staircase that goes down, but there's also a ramp if you have a stroller or a wheelchair.
They really make this area so accessible. So there's a giant staircase that heads down into the sunken garden. But if you are with a stroller or in a wheelchair, then they have this alternative route so you can still get to experience it. With the garbage cans. How did they get up there? Like, how did you do that? It's a really cool story with Butchart Gardens, and it actually started with the sunken garden. The Butchart family moved here and they had this cement company, and so this whole area was full of limestone and they had exhausted it for their project, and they had this just big massive hole. So what did they do with it? They turned it into a garden, and now it's one of the most memorable, recognizable gardens in the world.
And of course, a little cheeky family shot. So this is actually the accessibility pathway that runs alongside the sunken garden.
Okay, what is this tree? I want to know. This little patch of English
So what's fun
daisy
is you can
looks
kind of see
so darn
themed
cute.
flowers in every season that you go, and English daisy was everywhere. I could not help myself.
Oh yeah, that's no, but like I is like actually the original like limestone, and they said it wasn't. And then envision making this and then doing it.
I can't believe what it looked like at the beginning. Like to take. Oh my gosh.
So this staircase actually is
get overcommitted.
inside the sunken garden, and
It's a
you
lot of
walk up
stairs.
all these stairs and it will take you to this sort of secluded mystery, like hidden garden up at top with a great viewpoint, 360 viewpoint of the sunken garden, the pond, everything. And they've got a nice little collection of plants. They've got some benches up here. We saw quite a few people taking in the view.
So this is
And,
limestone.
it just feels like I would love to be
Maybe?
here in an afternoon and just soak in the sun and take in the view. You know, heading along these pathways, I definitely wondered how many landscapers they have on staff, because I feel like the weeding and the maintenance
Is
would
it?
be too much.
Oh yeah.
Obviously way smaller, like totally different.
So during construction, the sunken garden lake was the lowest point, and so they put liner in it, sealed it, and filled it to create the lake. I just love how the sunken garden is really focusing on the layered look, so you can see lots of interest no matter which direction. So one of the cool things about this garden is that it was started in the early 1900s, and it wasn't until about 1921 when the sunken garden got finished. So lots of work. What are these? That is something I have never seen before. Like, before you'd be like, oh yeah, let's just do the stairs. Nope.
So now we're walking away from the sunken garden and going to check out the rest of the park.
Look, it's a hedge, and it's a hedge of dragonfly and a hedge flower next to a carousel. So naturally, we're getting on the merry-go-round. Aw, how cute is this? I want this in my backyard. They got butterfly. Wow, it's an actual ginkgo tree. Look at that.
I'm obsessed with the trash cans.
Look at this. This is awesome.
Here's my ID and credit card across the here and my phone and with your phone.
There is something about these monkey trees that I absolutely love. They just look so cool. I grew up with peonies, and it's one of my favorite childhood flowers. I love how there's really no wasted space. Like, they'll put annuals in to cover, you know, areas and to add more depth. And I don't think I've ever seen a dahlia with dark leaves before. Oh, I love how moody that is.
There were a lot of purple flowers around the park, and the pollinators were just going crazy for them.
The pollinators are loving these flowers.
So this is actually the pathway to the rose garden, which one half wasn't really in bloom, and then the other half was in full bloom. So you kind of get a good, so you get good exposure to the rose garden no matter which season you're in.
So all of these are roses. This one's called
I
pop
love
art.
how they really
I thought it was
utilize space. That's what inspired me the most was, you know, you can do things on the low-lying side all the way up climbing trellises.
Department, and about how, like, which ones will bloom when. And it's
So this is the entrance to the Japanese garden, which we weren't unfortunately able to go see, but it is a hot spot for photography.
so fun fact about this pond, it's called the Star Pond, and it was built for Mr. Butchart's ducks. No ducks today, though. I love how they mixed pansy and lavender, and you can't even tell, like, it just works so seamlessly together.
This is the entrance to the Italian garden, which used to be a kitchen garden.
They even have gelato.
Okay.
So right by the restaurant, they have a photo window, and they have this almost like art installation full of annuals and tropical plants inside.
Really?
I love that they use like every opportunity to use flowers. Like pots, they're like, we're not just gonna have mulch here, we're gonna add flowers, you know? Oh, it's a bay leaf tree. It's pruned. Well, that. Well, Butchart Gardens did not disappoint. I wish that I had had more time to visit the Japanese gardens, and I know there is a boat dock as well. So if you end up visiting, definitely go and check those out. There's the restaurant, there's the cafe, there's gelato, there's tours, there's so much to do. It's definitely worth the price of admission. And I will definitely be coming back to check out different seasons and what Butchart Gardens has to offer.
This podcast is brought to you by Golden Acre Home and Garden. Find seasonal inspiration for your home and garden in Calgary, Alberta year-round. Visit goldenacre.ca. The comments and opinions expressed by the Helpful Gardeners on this show are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Golden Acre Home and Garden. For more information on everything we covered today and to leave us a voice note, visit goldenacre.ca/podcast. The Helpful Gardeners are on Instagram at The Helpful Gardeners Pod. Keep on growing, gardeners!